represent the voice of each of the people
I'm not sure how much they can hear, but do you want to fill them in on what you saw this morning and what time you got here?
That said,
I got here about
we will relinquish that power for nearly 6 more
and then
months
the first person
to
who
the
spoke, and
tune
I
of
can't
nearly
even remember
2
who it was one of our
of saying,
representatives from the Republican Party, and he was in favor of sending the powers of faith to the king. And then
So which party was that? Just so
the
everybody
Republican
hears.
Party. And then Rob Sampson
Doing a job.
and he did a fabulous job highlighting all our concerns.
Yes, he did. He really did.
Good job.
We'll be pulling a clip of that at some point. We'll be posting that. Right, Lucas? Lucas said yes, we will be pulling a clip of that.
So there was some news stations here too. We did say to them whether or not we would actually talk to them because we know that they twist our words, and we gave them a little talking to. And we said, okay, we'll give you one more chance to really hear what we have to say, that we really are for people's rights and choice and freedom. But if they differentiate from that, they move from that topic, we will start to say no, and we will start going out to more of the podcasts and more of the people who are doing the real work instead of mainstream media.
Yep, and I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that they don't report the full story. So yesterday we must have said, I don't know how many hundreds of times, so we had dozens and dozens of people here, well over 100, a couple hundred, a few hundred?
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, definitely a couple hundred people here, and literally saying it's day 564, and I wonder if that made it into the news today. I'm going to go look.
Anything.
We'll see if they start reporting what day we're on. I think it's telling when you have a huge portion of the story, which is what the Republican leaders are talking about today at the Capitol, disclosing that it has been going on 2 years, a full 2 years. I think someone said 18 months. We know it's day 565, which is pretty much hidden. The press never puts that in a headline. The press never leads with that.
And
they're not telling you how many days he looks to extend it for, which I believe is 70. No, it's February 20th.
2022.
So my math geeks out there usually send me a message with how many days he's looking to extend there. So this is going to be a grand total of well over 600. Right?
Yeah,
Because we're at 565 right now.
Well, here's the thing. The other thing that's happening is he's already talking about boosters. He's already talking about the kids. He's coming after the kids. When the kids next. That's
Can I show you something from yesterday? I do. Can I show it to you? No, I'll put my mask on, but can I show you? Can I show you something from yesterday?
somebody was here yesterday. They were fine.
The chief of staff was here without a mask on. But
Yeah.
let me ask you this: were they reprimanded?
Oh, okay. But there's no fine. Yeah. No, that's okay. I'm just asking.
But did they get the same? What I'm asking is, did they have the same conversation with Capitol Police yesterday that you're having with us right now? Okay. So who polices them? The governor. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you for that. They put it on. I did what they didn't do yesterday. Oh, why am I? Believe me, it's not just me. It's hundreds and not a question towards you. There's thousands of people that see these photos. They see these photos of the chief of staff of Governor Lamont free to walk around, and nobody goes up to them. You don't think that that's going to create some sort of a controversy? Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Related to the housing crisis.
I already did.
They don't give us a heart.
Related. Yes.
Yeah, well, I broke that, but I haven't heard a lot of it.
What if the officers already waived the expense?
I want to ask
What about them yesterday?
I agree, I disagree. But for us, right, not pass that vote, it allows the executive branch to insert emergency
I'm looking at breakers.
us, the legislative branch, to do that for the streets.
Well, we've already seen some people represented by
I understand what you're saying. Some folks that have a lot more power than we do,
We,
right, are probably going to do whatever they want.
Right, that's the
Right,
problem.
which is a problem. I agree with you. But we really embarrassed us today. They had public meetings, they bring us around them,
Yeah.
and not to wear masks. And we did not okay.
It's the Democrats.
And they're bullying you.
It's the Democrats. Just so everyone knows who he's talking about. That's the Democrats that are doing that.
We don't want the community mandated. We don't want anything to happen to our police. We want crime down and everything. But if everybody just starts getting against with each other,
Why you're in the building, you have to follow the building.
Okay, we would just like, we just want to know why they don't have to, that's all. But if you don't have that answer, I will contact the governor's office and find out myself. That's fair, right? I think so. The people walking around with no masks, we're actually on their side. We don't want to wear masks either. But we don't want to be told to put one on when they don't wear them.
There would no,
but, yeah, and the other thing that they don't understand. Not that we don't think that's I have a healthy child that I'm born because of that, tested positive for COVID.
and that's
I understand all of the problems. That's what we're concerned. There's no problem. There's no problem.
I can't
the beat, the government message. The policy.
This is about segregation.
We do understand.
You don't want anybody to have money. We get it.
Thank you.
You want a job, we want you guys to have a job.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I'm asking.
I just, everybody,
You guys are union, right? So you don't have any leader to go to and explain to them the position that the governor's office is putting you in where they ask you to police the citizens and not the legislators?
We're not going to go there. All right? We're not going to go there. All right? So you strike up. You struck up. You're not going to
I know, but
you're not going
in
to
the absence of a response, it's still a response.
I know what you're trying to
It's
say.
fair. It's a fair question.
We're not
It's
going
not we'll handle it directly with them.
so is the mask, is that executive order for here?
there.
Or right?
I just think we had to go to the building. We have to.
I understand that. I'm saying it's his parking, this is our house. It's the people's house. What do you do if you? What do you want from?
We have to practice and go to.
Sorry.
Okay. says only in here. It doesn't say, yeah. Thank you. Be safe.
That was like, that conversation is how I felt like this last week. I felt like I was being attacked for like nothing.
No, they are stuck between, let's explain what just happened here. Okay, so, if anyone wants to come over, you're welcome to come over. We can make it like the view. and have false positive PCR tests.
I moved her between a rock and a
Okay.
hard place, right?
So, we gotta get up closer here. So what just happened there was we were confronted to put our masks on. So they came over and said what a huge embarrassment it was for them from the governor's office that they were blamed for us not being masked and not wearing masks and not enforcing masks. And that was the initial reason that he came over to tell us to please put them on, and that he understands what we're trying to do and understands our side. But he said that they were confronted by Governor Lamont's office, and they were blamed for not policing the mask mandate. However, when I came back and my rebuttal was, we were here yesterday, and I have evidence, I have photos of the chief of staff from Governor Lamont's office not wearing a mask. He did not want to get baited into the conversation, which is essentially saying, don't shoot the messenger. I'm not going to throw myself under the bus and lose my job because I don't agree with the King Ned Lamont, who's now running around blaming the police. Blaming the police is what Ned Lamont's
And what
doing.
I want to add to that is that's the scary part that's happening right now. Right now, it's masks. What is the breaking point what they're not going to do? Are they going to use police to follow rules, to get people to do certain things? When's that breaking point? Right now, it's masks. But are they going to start separating us really badly over vaccinated, unvaccinated? What is coming next? And whether or not it's actually going to happen in America, we should really be looking at what's happening around the world and to really make decisions for ourselves of what we should do, what's best for us and our family, and to rise up. If we don't start banding together, I don't know where that's going to end up.
I think it's really telling that he's silenced and he's not even allowed to have a conversation about it.
This is America.
So I don't want to be disrespectful after I told him I would not be, because we do back the blue and we do understand the conundrum that they're in. But right now, what we're looking for is accountability. And it hurts when you go searching for it and you go looking for it and you ask questions, because there does come a choice sometimes where you have to choose between what's right and what's wrong. And I think that, and I hope that the chief stood up for the other Capitol Police in defense of them, that they are not responsible for policing Ned Lamont's orders. He doesn't have that capacity. He needs to let the legislators make it a law so that the police can then enforce the law.
If we don't like the law, we can then vote out our representatives so we can overturn that law or at least call our representatives to not support a law. But we don't even have that. And even right now, the strong arm of representatives is scary.
Right. And in the grand scheme of things, we are not on the opposing side of, like, for example, yesterday the Chief of Staff, Paul Mounds, who was not wearing his mask, and I caught him. And right now we're still investigating who the woman was that literally ducked. She literally saw that she was on camera and ducked below. If you look and see, you can see how there's a balcony. She literally ducked down. Didn't want to be seen, didn't want to be caught. And the fact of the matter is, they're up there in their offices and in the hallways without masks. And nobody can police them. Nobody can question what they're doing except for Governor Ned Lamont. And if you follow his Instagram and you follow his social media and you watch him at the Big E and you watch him at the festivals and you watch him when he's indoors at manufacturing facilities and other places indoors during a universal mask mandate, which means it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. It means universally everyone has to wear one. But the problem is the universal mandate doesn't seem to be affecting the chief of staff, the governor, and all of his staff. It seems to be that there's two sets of rules.
What we're seeing too is now it's more, for the elites versus the people. And this isn't just something that's happening here or in our community or in the state of Connecticut. We're starting to see this everywhere around the U.S. So there's a pattern happening that needs to be, we need to pay attention to that pattern because it's happening. If you look at the awards, if you look at, you have children masked, but other things are not happening. If you look at the awards, for example, you have the Hollywood stars all wearing their, not wearing a mask, but the staff has to wear a mask. Nancy Pelosi had a dinner party. They weren't wearing masks, but the staff was wearing a mask.
Yesterday, the media didn't put masks on until we challenged them and started chasing them around the front lawn and chasing them all around the streets of Hartford while we were rallying yesterday. And the cameramen would be in masks, but the reporter was not in a mask.
Yeah, which is really
So
ironic.
again, another inconsistency.
Yeah, we want to start talking about. We want to start talking about
Peasants.
Yeah,
It's like making people
the
look
camera
like
person has to wear a mask, but
the elite get to take it off,
and it
but the
wasn't like
peasants have to wear
it.
it.
It wasn't like she was speaking at the time.
No.
So I mean,
No.
if that's his personal choice, that's fine. We don't know. We don't know them personally. If they personally choose to wear a mask, that's up to them. That's their freedom to do that. The problem is we're not allowing freedom for everyone. For everyone. And I understand everybody wants this over, but if you start looking at the numbers, there's no reason for an emergency. There's absolutely not. We need to remember there's 3.6 million people in the state of Connecticut. And you need to do comparison numbers.
So again, just like the instance with Susan Zoney in Southington, they do the crime and I do the time. So they get to walk around here with no mask and pretty much flaunt it in our faces, because we were walking all around here, dozens of us yesterday with cameras and video and everything, and then they don't get reprimanded, they don't get fined, they don't get, told that they better put it on or they're going to be escorted out of the building, but we do. So there is completely a double standard here, and I think it shows, again, the extremely weak leadership here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Here in Connecticut, the governor yelling and chastising the Capitol Police for not enforcing their mandate that they have absolutely no written law in place to mandate.
Though, too.
I mean, so he goes to them, again, passing the buck. This is the weakest leadership. This is why Connecticut is failing. It's weak leadership. As soon as you hold somebody accountable, as soon as you ask questions and you put the governor, you ask him, why are you mandating this and then making the Capitol Police enforce it when your own staff isn't even doing it? Your own staff hasn't received a fine. Your own staff hasn't received a warning yet. How are you expecting them to go down to the citizens of this state and hold them accountable? It's a double standard. It makes their job impossible. It literally makes their job impossible. You either allow it to be enforced and everyone gets to have it enforced the same exact way, or get rid of it and make a choice and make it easy. Otherwise, this is the new normal. You will be followed everywhere. You will not know when you're at your place of work if you're going to have a camera on you. You won't know when you go out to dinner if there's going to be a camera on you. You won't know if you're driving in your car with another person that you work with if you're going to have a camera on you. This is the mandate that you want. This is the mandate that you get. So stop blaming the Capitol Police for it. It's your own fault, Governor Lamont, and we're not going to stop. We'll have someone at the Capitol every single day. We'll have people at the fairs. We'll have people at restaurants. We know bartenders where you go and hang out in Greenwich that you don't even know that we have photos from. So if this is what you want, this is what you get.
I think people need to also, I mean, I don't care if I have my mask on anymore now. If they pick this up now, I've been here for a while, so I'm done for the day. But, you know, I really implore people to really start paying attention of the differences of behavior, of how certain people are being treated and others are not being treated.
Right. Even they have to wear them. So I have not seen one Capitol Police officer breaching the mask mandate. They have all been in complete compliance,
Yes,
100% compliance, and then they get blamed because of the embarrassment of the governor's staff. Like they're supposed to be up there now trolling around and babysitting them and saying, put your masks on before someone catches you.
Like
put your masks on before someone catches you.
As servants. They're like, they're being treated as servants. It's the elite versus the little people. They're getting rid of that middle class. You know, there's not going to be that, and that's the fear of Marxism. I mean, it's rearing its ugly head, unfortunately, but it's the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
Trust me, I never thought I'd be saying that in America, but it is the truth. You're seeing a pattern.
Also, if you're watching on CTN, they're allowed to debate without masks on. So when they stand up to debate, they're allowed to take their masks off, which is partly because it's nearly impossible to talk for any length of time without sucking this thing in, which I just did like 4 times. So it's hard to breathe. And when you're actually someone that is leading a conversation and you need to talk and you need to breathe, do you know how hard it is to do that with a mask on? People try to compare surgeons to what I'm doing right now, and it's not even close. Surgeons don't have to talk for 20 and 30 minutes at a time. They get to stand there and focus on what they're doing with their hands. They work with their hands. Okay? Not everybody does that. You can't compare. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Someone that has to be physical and has to be like walking around. So the Capitol Police that are on foot outside yesterday that were walking around and up and it's you want them masked while they're trying to, you know, keep pace and move barriers and everything. You want them adjusting and taking their mind off of their weapons and their ability to concentrate. You want them outside. You want them doing that.
Even for policeability, with the rising of crimes, do we really want more masking outside as well? Because if that's the case, how are they going to recognize a criminal if they're looking for someone?
Exactly.
I mean,
it makes their job harder.
Thing that's a precedent that happened. If we think that this is going to go away, you cannot comply yourself to freedom. It will never happen. It will never happen. I'm awful not complaining.
I don't know. I just don't. I think that he hasn't sat down and actually had a conversation about the struggle of trying to enforce this type of mandate in a public space that's indoors, and the mandate itself doesn't even have clear strategy on how to handle people with health conditions, like somebody that works for the media company that I'm with, Luke. He has a medical condition, and it makes it very difficult for him to breathe. And they're expecting him to put a mask on when they're literally, take a look around. Do you see crowds of people here? Do you see do you see people everywhere at risk of getting COVID if Luke takes his mask off?
But you can go to a concert, and you can go
you can go to NFL, you can go anywhere pretty much. Movie theaters, you can go to concerts, restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, Ned Lamont,
fairs.
Ned Lamont was singing right next to someone right on stage. So, you know, what's that? He was just at the Big E.
Yeah.
So, with no mask on, inside the Kennedy building.
Yeah.
So,
it's telling that the rules are for thee and not for me, and I am quite honestly, I feel bad for the situation because I don't think that it's fair for the elite that are in a situation where they should know better and they should be complying because they're supposed to be setting the example, and they do. Like I said, I have not seen one Capitol Police officer in breach. There goes another one. They're all in masks, exactly like they're following orders. They're doing their job. But the people, the elite, that are up in the governor's order offices, who are making the mandates, are not following the orders. And so, in a situation like that, if you play follow the leader, you start doing stuff like this.
Well, and
You start saying, you know what? This is what Paul Mounds look like, so why do I have to wear one?
Right.
And all it does is make their job hard. Because we have to say we know we saw. They have to say we know we saw him, and we don't agree with it, and we don't, but we don't have any recourse. There's no recourse because the governor's office is the office that has the ability to enforce this, not even the Capitol Police. So who's above the governor's office?